that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baluwo?
Baluwo? What is Baluwo?
Baluwo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baluwo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluwo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baluwo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baluwo, better than sending money.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Wow. One thing about the history of it. Originally it's from Africa, Sierra Leone. Why? You look at the Gambia, we did not want in Sierra Leone. Why take the Gambia? Then no one will be sorry. Okay. Take Sierra Leone, they don't know Gambia, the embassy funding, of course.
Your Excellencies, I am deeply honored and have the singular pleasure to stand before this august body today to deliver a statement. Indeed, this is a historic moment for our homeland, the Gambia. The bicentenary celebration is the result of combined efforts by my office, the local organizing committee, national organizing committee, community of Janjanbureh, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, the National Center for Arts and Culture, the Gambia Tourism Board, the Gambia Hospitality and Training Institute, not forgetting the general sponsors, and above all, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, for his moral and financial support to ensure that this event is a success. And to the Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture and all his cabinet colleagues. Your Excellencies, we are also celebrating culture and history. The settlement became the home of Kankurang and the first government school in rural Gambia. And it was for a period the capital of the Gambia Protectorate. The island has relics that symbolizes its rich history, such as the governor's office and its well-planned streets with names like Todo Street, Queen Street, John Street, Finlay Street, etc. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the community of Janjanbureh and the entire region of CRR, I wish to thank you all for your presence. Together, we have made history today by this splendid display of culture and tradition. Janjanbureh and CRR has been blessed to host this great and historic event when our island and region is the attraction of the entire West African sub-region and the world as a whole. Now it is our duty to pick up the many opportunities that this celebration has created, such as the new infrastructure, the goodwill contacts, and networks created. Take this island and the region into a tourism hub for job creation as the grand intention of our icon, dedicated, hardworking, above all, very blissful President, His Excellency President Adam Barrow. I pray that Allah continue to give him the ability and strength to accomplish his desire for the Gambia successfully. Also, all the delegates to return home safely. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
It's a difficult task, Mr. President, today. I am not here to make a speech. I'm here only to comment and thank those who have helped us to reach where we are today. The speech is your speech. The day is your day. You will be talking not to the world, not to the Gambia, but you'll be talking to the world. Everybody in the world is listening to you and want to hear what Gambia is going to talk about with the issue of slavery and the consequence of slavery and the way forward as to how to deal with the matter. Then I am not going to make a speech, Mr. President. I'm only going to thank those who have supported me. And indeed, the organizing committee, I must also say, for the fantastic job they've done under the chairmanship of Sertijan Yang, Vice Chairman, President Madam Fatumas Job, and the rest of the other members. I would invite Madam Fatumas Job to read the names of all those who are part of the organizing members, and indeed the local organizing committee and the honorable members of Janjanbureh and all others. Madam Fatumas, you can read the names before I proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. With your permission, Your Excellencies, the members of the National Organizing Committee reads as follows. Honorable Hamad N. Keba, the Permanent Secretary Hassan Jallo, Sheikh Tijan Yang, Chairman, my very self as the Vice Chairperson, Siaka Fadera, Aissatou Drame, Mr. Hassoum Cissé, Mr. Abubakar S. Kamara, Mr. Mamadou Singate, Mr. Mamadou Cissé, Honorable Omar Jame Jato, Honorable Silawali Ndawnjai, Mr. Shirif Conte, Mr. Ronald Williams, Mr. George N. Innis, Suleiman Kaur, Jabi Mane, Esa Jallo, Mam Demba Cissé, Usman Biai, Abdou S. Gay, Seni M. Cissé, Seni Ndong, Mr. Anthony Gomez, Mr. Mamadi Damfa, Miss Aminata Sane, Mr. Mamad Salah, Mr. Famara Sanyang, Mr. Sang Silva, Miss Ya Awanyasi, Mr. Musa Cissé of Africell, Mr. Musa Dem, Mr. Saja Sambu, Auntie Binta Jame Sidibe, a round of applause for her, please. Mr. Sanabi Jaju, Mr. Jibril Sane, Mr. Baba Cissé, Ndeye Fatou Jabang, Miss Aisha Davis Ann, Mr. Soljai, Mr. Usman Kebe, Mrs. Marion Funyan, Diminga Senghor, Jarata Mahmoud, Maimuna Mane Faye, Binta Gassama, Abubakar Dem, Admire Sok, and Mr. Demba Bande. Honorable Minister, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Fatumas Joe. Let me just give you a brief history where this whole event started. I was invited to a program in Le Côte d'Ivoire as far back as 2017 by the Ivorian government, and I attended one of their programs that related to slavery. And indeed, from there, I felt very much impressed. And I was convinced that we should have a program like this nature to celebrate the return of slaves in Janjanbureh, since the one of Banjul escaped us, because the one of Banjul was going to be 1816, and in the year 2016, there was the political impasse, there was elections, we couldn't have it. But again, this time around, we felt the Janjanbureh one will not escape us. So we were at a meeting with my various agencies of the Ministry of Tourism and the ministry itself, when I brought the idea on the table and floated the idea for people to consider the possibility of the Gambia hosting and celebrating the return of slaves in Janjanbureh. At the time, we have Kodu Jabang Senghor, who was the permanent secretary, who indeed welcomed and accepted the idea and became a champion of the idea, together with Hassoum Cissé, Abubakar Kamara, and Mr. Dauda Nyang. We agreed that it's doable and we could do it. We started the work and we saw how very much committed they were. Mr. Mamadi Damfa, who was then the Deputy Permanent Secretary, also followed suit with his Permanent Secretary that was Kodu Jabang. It was Kodu Jabang who actually selected, with Hassoum Cissé, the members of this organizing committee. And she's been constantly following the events and how this program have been unfolding, and even sending some suggestions and information. We thank her for this contribution she made. We also thank Mamadi Damfa, who spent all his time, even as we speak, yesterday, he was here. He was in the committee working, even though he has moved to another ministry. Mamadi spent all his time making sure that we get through to where we are. And then, of course, Dauda Nyang, who is no longer with us too. Dauda also has been a very important influential figure rather, who supported this process. So we thank them for the effort they invested in bringing us to where we are. Let me say, Mr. Hassoum Cissé has been very outstanding with his team. He came with the suggestion of a national creation of a secretariat, which was led by Siaka Fadera and that has worked exceptionally well. And I must thank his staff, Hasum, Siaka, Seni, Mamat, and Mr. Donald himself, who they have insulted every minute of it, but he remained very steadfast. And indeed, Donald, I thank you for the job that you have done. Up to last night, this guy could not even travel to Banjul, to Janjanbureh, because the pressure was too much on him. We thank the NCAC, we thank the chairman and the board members for their support towards the success of this program. When you come to the GT board, we must give special thanks to Abubakar Kamara, Musa Dem, Mr. Mbai, Silva, Sanyang, George, all the staff of the Gambia Tourism Board for their immense commitment and contribution towards the success of this program. We cannot forget the chairman of the board and their board members for the energy they invested in bringing us to where we are here today. We go on to the Gambia Tourism Hospitality Institute. Mr. Singate and his staff, Mr. Conte, his deputy, all of them work very hard to really bring us to where we are. Indeed, I will not forget Mr. Kaur and Mr. Lou, the gentleman who is in charge of the kitchen, and all the staff for that matter. I now almost say that the organizing committee has really worked very hard. Mr. President, with all this, we couldn't have succeeded without your immense support and contribution. You have always given me courage. When the idea got floated that this was not doable, when you called me and said, Mr. Minister, I'm with you and I want us to get it done, go to Janjanbureh, stay there, close your office, be on the ground, I want to see this program succeed. Mr. President, those words of encouragement gave us the courage, determination, and the stamina to get this thing done. We are grateful to you. Staff was done and it was done. Mr. Minister of Energy, we thank you, Director General of NAWEC, and all the staff of NAWEC, we are grateful and thankful to you. Mr. President, the Minister of Works, indeed, NRA did their job and we appreciated that. Mr. President, our outstanding support came also from the Minister of Fisheries, who donated 5 tons of fish to this organization. Mr. Minister of Fisheries, we are grateful to you for the support you have given us. We appreciated it, and it has saved us a lot of cost, and we thank you for it. Mr. Minister, the Minister of Interior, the paramilitary forces, the police, through the Inspector General of Police, and to the Minister of Interior, we thank you for all the job that you have done in supporting us to be where we are today. The Minister of Trade, we are saying through you to thank the GAIPA CEO and the people of GAIPA and the staff of GAIPA who were able within 2 weeks to put up a structure like that one you are seeing today. That the Senegambia Trade Fair that was approved by Cabinet was made a reality. We thank the CEO of GAIPA and the entire staff of GAIPA through your ministry to say, thank you, well done. You have demonstrated nationalism and your commitment to your job. And I think everybody must make sure that when you have a task, you deliver. The CEO was living in Janjanbureh for 5 days to make sure that they completed this job and the job was done. We thank the staff of GAIPA and all of them for that matter, through you, Mr. Minister of Trade. Mr. President, I want to thank all my colleagues, thank all the organizing members, thank all the chiefs, all the governors, but I will not rest without saying exceptional thanks to the governor and his deputy. Seni Mbai have worked tirelessly since the day we came here. Without Seni Mbai on ground, we would not have succeeded. Seni Mbai, wherever you are sitting, you are noticed, recognized, and we thank you immensely for a job well done. We appreciate your effort. We appreciate what you have invested in this. And let me say to people, organizing such a program is not easy. We expected, whatever we expected multiplied by 3-fold. Yesterday, we couldn't even manage it all because the number of people that came into Janjanbureh was beyond our expectation. So if we had made any mistake with anybody, I apologize on their behalf. Mr. Chief President, I also must thank President Macky Sall, the government of Senegal. President Macky Sall, the government of Senegal, is the second biggest sponsor after the government of the Gambia in making this project successful. Through the Prime Minister of Senegal, we send a message of felicitation and appreciation to President Macky Sall for his immense contribution in making this thing a success today. And in the same vein, I will not rest without thanking my colleague friend, Professor Aliou Sow, the Minister of Culture of Senegal, and his staff, who has been giving us all the support since we started. Indeed, today he cannot come. They are launching a cultural project of $300 million in Gore that makes it impossible for him to abandon his president and come to this. But he even sent his wife to come and be part of the Senegalese delegation. Mr. Prime Minister, we thank you. We thank the Senegalese people, the Senegalese government through you. We are grateful and appreciative of all the support. Indeed, Mr. President, I don't want to take the time of everybody, but I would say all those that I did not mention, it is by mistake, it is not deliberate, because I would spend the whole night talking here. I will never finish thanking all those who have been here. All government officials, permanent secretaries, director generals, all those who have worked to make this thing happen, we are grateful and thankful to you. And we thank the ECOWAS group. Our own brother there, they were the first to contribute money. They were the first to contribute money to make this work. Mr. President of ECOWAS, we are grateful to you. We thank you for showing us who you are and what you are. At the time we needed you, you came and supported us. Thank you, Mr. President. We are proud of you. Mr. President, before I take my seat, I want to once again thank everybody who have contributed, the press, the media, and those who have traveled all the way from Banjul this morning to come here. We are grateful to you and we thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Mr. President have reminded me of the greatest mistake. And I have the finance minister here. I have his name here. The greatest man who rescued me in the middle of the sea. When the boat was about to sink, he came and said, "My brother, I'll rescue you out." And that is nobody but my finance minister. Mr. Finance Minister, get up. Mr. Finance Minister, stand up. Mr. Finance Minister, stand up. Stand up. Mr. President, he rescued me deep sea. He rescued me deep sea. You know, let me tell you what happened, Mr. President. I think you need to know the secret. I know you. If I had talked about money, you will always say, expenditure, expenditure. But when I talk about roads, concrete, you will say, let's find the money. You will try to look the money for concrete and road construction. So when I raised this issue, knowing the way he thinks, I said, Mr. President, government will not commit any money in this. Don't worry. We'll do it ourselves. Knowing fully well that if I didn't tell him that, the idea would be that no money, we cannot do this project. But I knew when we get to deep sea, he will come to my rescue. He will not like to see me sink. I know that. So when we got stuck, he called me, he said, "Look, I know you need money. What's your problem?" I said, "Mr. President, we need to be rescued. Calculate what you wanted," and it was done, Mr. President. We thank you once again. And the finance minister, Mr. Sidi Keita, we are grateful to you. You have done it all for us, and we are appreciative of it. Thank you, Mr. President, for reminding me. And let me tell you, one good thing the president did, and that's why I shed my tears. The president was on vacation with his family in Mangaman. The idea of having a breakfast fundraising dinner came, breakfast fundraising activity came, floated by one of our greatest contributors, Africell. We thank Africell for standing by us at this time. We thank them very much. They stood by us, and we appreciate that. And when Fatu Mas came with the idea of breakfast, fundraising, I went to Alaji Sise straight away, give a protocol. I say, is this doable? He said, yes, it's doable. Before I tell the president, is it doable? He said, Minister, they can do it. I said, are you sure? He said, then I went to the president. I said, Mr. President, we would like to have you break your leave, abandon your family, come to Banjul, preside over a fundraising breakfast. He said, Mr. Minister, anything concerning this project, I'm ready to do it, and I'm coming. Choose a date, I'm available. I will never forget that, Mr. President, how committed you were in making sure that we get to this to this date that we are today. And I thank you once again for that. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, honorable ministers, faith leaders, distinguished guests, brothers, sisters, colleagues, and friends, may I take this opportunity to repeat all the praise, all the thanks that have just been showered on everyone here today, quite rightly, by our Honourable Minister of Tourism. And I'd like you to give him a real round of applause. Because he thanked everyone, but he did not thank himself. And so it's my great pleasure on behalf of the whole Commonwealth to thank him for you and for you, Mr. President. It is a profound honor and a privilege to join you here today for this bicentenary commemoration of Janjanbureh homecoming. And for me too, it is a homecoming. At the birth of this new year, I have traveled across the seas to stand with you here today, yes, to represent our Commonwealth, but also it's a poignant moment for me too, a coming home. You will know that I can trace 3 sides of my family back to almost 800 years. But I know that the part of me which is unknown comes from here in Africa. I know the part of me which is indigenous Caribbean, that part which is French, that part which is Scots, but that part of me which is Africa, which is written in my blood, which is evident by a mere glimpse of the eye, and which I know scans the whole continent, including, yes, Gambia. That part which was burnt into ancestral history anchors me personally to this commemoration in a visceral way. My moment to honor the love and sacrifice, which means my forebears not only survived the journey, but thrived, so that today they live in me and I in them, and I have been able to come home. I do not believe that my ancestors necessarily were amongst those who came home 200 years ago. But I am here today to represent all of those who until today did not come home, were not able to come home. So it is a poignant moment for me. As I stand with you, I call to mind Alex Haley's stirring words from Roots, set here in the Gambia as an ode to his ancestors. He said this: "Through this flesh, which is us, we are you, and you are us." In this place 200 years ago, against all odds, but with defiance and purpose, slaves returned to the land they called home. In this place, where we walk in their footsteps and find the imprints of their struggle, we are reminded that we are all connected. In this place where they sang up our hands and raised them to each other in friendship, let us march forward together with strong hearts and clear eyes to a future built on equality, dignity, and love, and bound by connections which echo through the ages. Let us resolve to ensure that our children inherit a world which honors the sacrifices our ancestors made. May God bless their memory, God bless you, and God bless the great Republic of the Gambia. And I thank you.
Monsieur le Président de la République, distingués invités, je voudrais tout d'abord vous féliciter très sincèrement pour l'organisation de cet important événement qui a pour objectif d'honorer la mémoire de tous nos ancêtres déportés hors du continent africain pour servir de main-d'œuvre, notamment dans les exploitations agricoles et les usines de transformation des pays d'Amérique et des Caraïbes. Ces êtres humains ont subi les pires horreurs et ont lutté pour leur survie quotidienne et pour obtenir leur liberté il y a de cela plus de 400 ans. C'est par ailleurs l'une des causes reconnues qui explique le sous-peuplement du continent africain et le retard en matière de développement, à l'origine des faiblesses des systèmes politiques et socio-économiques actuels. L'esclavage explique également, en partie, les clivages ethniques et les guerres tribales qui se déroulent sur le continent. Monsieur le Président de la République, distingués invités, le festival qui nous réunit aujourd'hui témoigne, si besoin est encore, de la densité de la contribution de la Gambie à notre héritage commun, de la place centrale et du rôle de premier plan joué par Janjanbureh dans la libération des peuples africains. Ce pan de l'histoire mérite d'être porté à la connaissance du monde. L'année 1823 constitue une étape charnière pour cette terre qui a servi de site de peuplement de nos ancêtres, qui ont eu l'avantage et la chance de s'affranchir des liens de la colonisation, précipitant ainsi l'abolition de l'acte de 1807. Janjanbureh devint dès lors un repère historique dans la libération des peuples africains, une terre de brassage culturel et d'intégration, ainsi qu'une foire de commerce et d'entrepreneuriat. C'est pourquoi je me réjouis à plus d'un titre de la pertinence de la célébration de ce festival du bicentenaire de cette île riche en enseignements, du choix du site pour la tenue de cette rencontre, de même que du contenu des événements en marge, notamment le Forum sénégambien et d'investissement sur le commerce équitable. Monsieur le Président de la République, distingués invités, au-delà du festival qui nous réunit aujourd'hui, c'est toujours avec un immense plaisir que je viens en Gambie, du fait que nos relations sont d'une parfaite exemplarité, trouvant son fondement dans les imbrications intrinsèques de leurs liens géographiques et historiques, adossés à un brassage sociologique sans nul autre pareil. Outre ces atouts naturels, nos deux pays ne cessent d'œuvrer à élever leurs relations diplomatiques à des niveaux exceptionnels, matérialisés du reste par des échanges réguliers d'émissaires, de correspondances et d'invitations. Un cadre juridique de coopération perpétuellement étoffé, ainsi que par des cadres permanents de concertation, tels que le Conseil présidentiel sénégalo-gambien et le secrétariat permanent sénégalo-gambien. Nos deux pays ont su mettre en œuvre des initiatives louables, mutuellement bénéfiques, comme le pont de la Sénégambie, qui a contribué à fluidifier les transports de personnes et de marchandises et à densifier les échanges bilatéraux, mais également à relier sans interruption le nord et le sud du Sénégal. Aussi, la partie gambienne a accepté dernièrement d'accéder à une vieille doléance des transporteurs sénégalais en acceptant le paiement en francs CFA des frais de péage au dit pont. Dans ce registre, il convient également d'inscrire les rotations quotidiennes inter-États des sociétés nationales de transport Dakar Dem Dikk pour le Sénégal et Gambia Transport Service Company pour la Gambie. Je voudrais ainsi me réjouir de l'esprit de fraternité et de compréhension mutuelle qui ont toujours prévalu entre nos deux pays et qui tracent les sillons de notre future et prometteuse coopération. Monsieur le Président de la République, chers distingués invités, je voudrais, au nom du Président de la République du Sénégal, votre frère et ami, Son Excellence M. Macky Sall, vous féliciter pour toutes vos initiatives, les unes aussi louables et prestigieuses que les autres, comme en témoigne celle-ci, visant à unir nos peuples, notamment dans le cadre de la CEDEAO, à l'effet de les réconcilier avec leur propre histoire pour les rendre fiers et dignes, confiants et optimistes, résilients et persévérants. Je ne saurais terminer mon propos sans vous réitérer l'engagement de la délégation sénégalaise que j'ai l'honneur de conduire à ne ménager aucun effort pour assurer un succès éclatant à cet événement et celui de l'État du Sénégal a contribué à œuvrer au renforcement des liens fraternels et d'amitié qui existent si harmonieusement et si heureusement entre nos deux peuples. Je voudrais remercier également le peuple gambien pour l'hospitalité généreuse offerte à la brave et vaillante communauté sénégalaise de Gambie que je salue et félicite pour son comportement exemplaire. Je vous remercie de votre aimable attention. Président jërëjëf, Gambie ku fi ñëw mën nga làkk wolof mën nga làkk pulaar li boole réew yi amul feneen ci àdduna ñoo bokk lépp ñoo bokk ndey ñoo bokk baay ñoo bokk lépp loolu moo tax président Macky Sall yabal ma fi ak délégation bi ma àndal ay ministres yu bari loo xam ni dafay mandarga seen diggante d'abord ndax ñun ñëpp ku ci nekk mën na seede la nga xam ni dox na seen diggante cofeel ak respect bu dox seen diggante mais yéene réew yi jàmm président Macky Sall mi ngi lay nuyu mi ngi lay sant mu wax ñu nañu def lépp pour que diggante Sénégal ak Gambie bés bu jàll rek bés bii ñëw rek dàq bi jàll loolu la ñu sant te incha allah ci loolu la ñuy jublu ñu leen di féliciter di leen encourager di nuyu population bi yëpp di sant bu baax ñi nga xam ne teeru nañ ñu dem nga yabal sa vice président ak ministre yi ba guddi ñu nekk ci suñu disposition mënuma ñëw ba fii bañ leen a sant ndax teraanga moom teraanga rek moo koy fay maa ngi leen di sant di leen gërëm jërëjëf.
alhamdulillah alhamdulillah. From Senegal, Pulamena Moji, Baba Moji, Miguel Bondanag, Ofu Jainada, Santanara, Wainara, Kelamnara, Guinara, Eva Pulo, Sediba, Itanabana, Dijuasa, Swallow, Anamata Fairwoman, and Nicolas Ifamida, Yanima Motosoto, Anamabaro, Yanima.
The presence of this Senegalese high-level delegation once again manifests the bond of friendship and good neighborliness President Sall holds for the Gambia. I must reiterate our shared belief that the people of Senegal and the Gambia are one people in two states with similar values and cultures, and stick by each other in thick and thin. To you, Son Excellence, Monsieur Prime Minister, I warmly say, dal leen ak jàmm, mbir mi ñun ñoo ko bokk. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, history teaches us that about 200 years ago, the island of Janjanbureh was transformed from a peaceful Gambian settlement to a trading center for the British under Queen Victoria. It eventually hosted many French and British farms and was renamed Makati Island, with a part of it called Georgetown. It's a settlement with three names: Janjanbureh, Makati, and Georgetown. As we have it on record, thousands of Africans who were freed from the transatlantic slave trade bound for Freetown, Sierra Leone, were resettled here in Georgetown. We are in this historic town, therefore, to celebrate its bicentenary on an island where hope was restored. Captured Africans who were unjustly seized, unjustly treated, and unjustly removed from their homeland and families without any regard for their rights and dignity. On account of this, it is with mixed feelings that we have organized this historic festival to remember the events of the mid-19th century. Because of the cruel acts of that dark era, Africans have been forced to demand reparations from those who took part in the transatlantic slave trade. Excellencies, distinguished guests, it is a welcome development that the African Union, the United Nations, and some African countries have already started to ask for reparations. The African Union, for instance, has in the past 2 decades led a strong and persistent campaign on reparations for slavery as a basic human right for Africans. Coming home in 2022, at its 73rd ordinary session held in Banjul, the Gambia, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights agreed to set up a committee that would establish a case for reparations. The Gambia will seize the Makati Island bicentenary celebration to use its diplomatic, intellectual, and cultural advantage to promote reparations agenda. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, last October, I observed that it is rewarding for a nation to reflect on the past in order to chart the way forward for a better future. For this reason, my cabinet worked closely with the National Organizing Committee, stakeholders, and the communities of the area to hold this grand commemoration. As a result, among other attendees, the festival has brought together Gambians at home and those in the diaspora. In addition to friends of the Gambia, historians, tourists, to participate in the healing, reconnection, reconciliation process through our shared history and heritage. To the Gambia Tourism Board, the NCAC, the governor, and all the very able partners, sponsors, and artists, I express profound thanks to you for a job very well executed. With these remarks, it is my honor to declare the Janjanbureh Bicentenary Festival officially open. I pray that we have a peaceful and successful celebration marked by festivities moment on this historic island. I thank you for your kind attention. Fañol, mamañol, mumuñol, ye mel mutanu ye forcé to bondi ñim banko kan ke samba tubabu du kata dogo ke tubabu du pour ka tubabu du samba ñaatu wol jon ya julo bota wolle kangoto i dolbi je me ya lonko i pareta pour ka saynan afrika ye sayndi nan sanji keme fula komanto ke murundina ñi aylano to jay ka fo dame Janjanbureh makati anin Georgetown oto bimu lunkumma balati lumo me ya lonko ñanta jurala le pour kan na tariko lo kala mune tambita koma ni yalo men tambita koma ni la tariko long ake karandile sama e ñanta tabulu jomale taala woto kabrin kunu mo kendol be kerinenu molbe kerinenu mel yalon ko yela banko kanul wol mum molleti me yalon ko ye mutanu jan kunta kunde bo wolle kono a tobota baake me yalon ko ay keloke pour ay muruna la banko ka ate manna muruno bari molbe je men continue ta o kelola fo inata muruñim banko kanja woto o ñanta gambiyangol karandila munela mode ñante la banko kanulal banku kanomu dinoleti banku kanomu ifangola kanoleti na miral ñaasi fatanole bari banku la kanoto ndel be ñanta kañana wala le ndel be ñanta kele klineti bakilin fakili ngana banko do oto wala kendi kabirin kumandiro keta ni ministre diamo dankaya kana motu koma mansa kundao opposition o civil society o femfe meyalon ko gambian ko le mudi femfe yalon ko african o le mudi ngay commandiro ko mo be ne danko inshallah alhamdulillah en kontanta mol naate danko ne commandiro ko mol dankunta dron inyanta sewolal woto be gambian ko tentula bak kato men kita nyinto bar tendro kono me nyin ko nyaaton ka wona mo honorable minister Amad Nkeba fonga tentu baki anala timo mol be ani momo me kato ke pour ñi lungo sikeno especially mo mel yalon ko yela sembo kije mo mel yalon ko yela naflo fanan kije fo mfudata bi lungot oto bi mu kontane lungolti lafta femfem bi ñang albe tra sewori programme o kata bi fo sama ñanta continuer la le nal bi jam fo sama ndel lebe continuer la jang fo poto juwoto al nimbara assalamu alaykum.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Agadadi.
Mbijan raganyadi.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyinji.
Okay. Korsa. Nsila ID soto.
Ha, sa soto. Sorry. Agadadi.
Mbijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariaka.
Ah,
mbare. Mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Ah, jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Ha. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong blabe to.
56 branches mola sota Gambia jam.
Ha?
Ha. Gambia kono anin Gambia bantala bankol. Nka kodo kiya bere to. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw. Jannam number 1 di nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi manin domorol dir fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Ha e wo moyo diat ha.
Apelenta
ni wo ka ni lafta nyelen kendol e binaji.
Yalo bukani la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Abaraka.